All right, here we go. Question 28 from our Precalculus homework number 11 in MyLab Math. They want us to find an equation of the hyperbola described. We are given the center, a focus, and a vertex. So let's start by copying this information down in our scratch work. Once we have this information copied in our scratch work, please notice that the y coordinates of all three ordered pairs are identical, and that's going to help us to determine the transverse axis of the hyperbola. Scrolling up to our formula sheet, we can see that for a horizontal transverse axis, the y coordinates are all k, which would indicate they would all have to be the same. And so that indicates that we're going to use this equation for our hyperbola. Now, from the information we're given, we can gather that h is 5 because h is the x-coordinate of the center. K is -3. K is the y-coordinate of the center. The formula for the foci are h plus or minus c, comma k, and the formula for the vertices are h plus or minus a, comma k. And so what I'm going to do next to determine whether it's the plus or the minus coordinate that I'm given, I'm going to sketch a quick graph. Okay, so what I've done here is I've graphed the center. The focus that I've given is at 8, -3. So if I go all the way over to 8, -3, I can see that that is to the right of the center, which would indicate that that is the h plus c value for the x-coordinate. Because it's to the right, it has to be the larger of the two foci, and so it's going to be the one that's h plus c. The vertex is also 6, -3. And so if I plot him, again, he is to the right of the center. And so he's going to be the plus also. Now for the equations, we have h plus c equals 8. H plus c would be the x-coordinate of the focus. And we also have h plus a equals 6. H plus a, the x-coordinate of the vertex. H is known to be 5 at this point, and so if I replace h with 5 in both of these equations, we're going to be able to solve for c and a. So 5 plus 3 is 8. 5 plus 1 is 6. Now that I know A and C, I can find B, and then I can write my equation. Using our Pythagorean relationship, doing a little plug and play, we're going to have 3 squared equals 1 squared plus B squared. If I minus 1 squared from both sides to get B squared by itself, 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. And remember, I don't need b, I need b squared. I also need a squared. A was 1 though, so a squared will also be 1. And together with my values for h and k, we're going to be able to write this equation now. Okay, so I've copied my equation down here in the window, and we're going to plug and play. Here we're going to have x minus h, which would be x minus 5, quantity squared, over a squared, which would be over 1, minus y minus a -3. Minus a negative makes it a plus. 3 squared over b squared, which is 8, equal 1, and we're done. And now let's go input this in our MyLab Math and see if we're correct. All right, having input each piece in its own box here, notice I didn't put the over 1. I don't think it's needed. We're going to check and see if this is correct. And it's good. Now, in order to pick the correct graph, what I notice here is that all four options do have a horizontal transverse axis, so that doesn't help eliminate any answer choices. I do also notice that answer choice B and answer choice D have the center in the wrong quadrant, so that'll eliminate two answer choices. Of the two answer choices that are left, it appears that the center is in the same location. What is different is the slope of the asymptotes. So what I'm going to do is go back to my scratch work. I'm going to figure out the equations of the asymptotes and then determine which of these answers has the correct slope for the asymptotes. Okay, so I've copied the equation of the asymptotes given our horizontal transverse axis here into my notes. And if I do a little plug and play again, that's going to give me y equals k, which is -3, plus or minus b over a. Well, notice I don't really know what b and a are. And in order to plug in for b and a, I'm going to have to take the square root of each one of those pieces. So the square root of 1 is just 1. That's going to be my value for a. But the square root of 8 will simplify to 2 square root of 2 in simplest radical form. X minus h is 5. And so here we can see that our slope is going to be what? The coefficient of x, 2 square root of 2. What is that approximately? In our calculator, 2 square root of 2 approximately is about 2.8. And that's about 2.8 over 1. So that would be a rise of 2.8 and a run of 1. That's going to be kind of steep. So going back to our answer choices, remember it's between answer choice A and C. The one that has the steeper of the two asymptotes is answer choice A, up about 3 over 1. So I'm feeling pretty confident that the correct answer is going to be A. And that's going to do it for this particular problem. So if you have any questions or comments about anything covered in this video, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me, and thanks for watching.